Alright, so it is 10:07. See the clock? Boom. James is still gone, out with Wayne. I need to be able to either put up the guardrail or else put her on the floor because my daughter is still sleeping and I am thirsty and I need a drink. This is a water bottle, but it is empty, and this is actually for the humidifier. There's a little bit of water in the bottom. I'm probably gonna drink that actually. And but I'm thirsty and I want to be able to move away from her for like a minute. But I don't want to disturb her or wake her up either. So, yeah, this is my life. If I move away from her, she will wake up within 10 minutes. So maybe if I go and run and grab a drink and come back, she'll be fine. But I do not want to disturb my little girl. So, this is where I'm at. This is what we're doing. This is my life. My life is obviously very good, in a lot of respects. Like, I am home with my child. I get to play with my child all day, every day, and it is awesome because I love her so incredibly much, and, like, that is the highlight of my life. Like, I always wanted to be a mother. I always wanted to be a good mother. I didn't have a mother growing up. Like, I did, but I didn't. Like, you know, like, I'm to the point, like, I'm an adult, and ever since I've been 19, like, my mother, as I call it, like, she's not really my mother. I don't consider her to be my mother, but, like, she's my friend now that I'm an adult, and of course that change happens to everyone as they're growing up, but, I mean, I don't want anything to do with anyone from my childhood family, and I don't want my child to have that experience, you know, like, I just want her to be healthy and happy, and I want her to have a very good life. That wasn't given to me as a child, you know, I see it on TV shows. I'm watching 8 Passengers, and these people, and which is funny because my grandmother's last name is Griffith, and these people, their last name is Griffiths too. I'm like, oh, maybe we're related somehow, you know. And my grandmother it's Westover and Griffiths on my grandfather's side, so it's my great grandmother. Her last name was Griffiths. She married Esther Griffiths, married Seth Westover, Elmer Seth Westover, and had 3 children. And my grandfather, Artie Westover, married my grandmother, Josephine Janiszewski. So there's a little family history. But these people, their last name is Griffiths. I'm related to Griffiths as well. And I'm like, wow, you know, they had such a good life. And, you know, my great-grandmother was English. Obviously, these Griffiths are probably English too. And, you know, probably just different strands of the same family line. And, you know, but their life is awesome. This mother, her name is Ruby. She's from 8 Passengers, and she's an awesome mother. And I want to be an awesome mother to my child. And I'm watching her while my daughter's sleeping, quite obviously. I'm uploading things, and as I'm uploading things, I'm watching things on YouTube. And I ran into 8 Passengers the other day while I was uploading things and watching things on YouTube. And, you know, I want my child to have that type of life. And, you know, her husband doesn't seem overly involved either, and she has 6 children, and she's doing very well with her 6 children. But, I mean, her husband is involved, as you can tell. Like, you could see that he's involved quite a bit. It's just not on camera. And, you know, and he works outside the home, and she obviously stays home just like I stay home with my child. And, you know, so she seems like an awesome woman. And I don't know why I'm explaining this, but that's awesome. And, yeah, my child's nursing again because I'm talking. So I'm not going to go and get that drink. I remember when I was, when I just had Karina, and I was nursing a whole bunch, and I was, like, thirsty all the time, and I was asking James to get me water. I'm like, I need water, will you get me water? And he turned around and he yelled at me. He was like, why are you always asking me for water? And I'm like, 'cause I'm dehydrated. I'm like, how do you think I'm nursing my daughter? And he's like, oh, well, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, and I didn't think of that. And, you know, but he got so mad I was asking him for water. It was like, you know, how dare I ask him for something? But he was home, and he was supposed to be home to help, but he wasn't helping. You know, he was like, oh, I just told my coworkers that I was home to help. He was like, this is my vacation. And I'm like, okay. So not only would he not cook, not clean, not warm up his food that I prepared for him, not get me water, not hold his daughter, like he wasn't very helpful at all. On top of that, he was mean and he was angry at me, and he was angry that I wasn't just doing as he said because he thinks that he has ownership over women in his life, which he doesn't. No one does. No one owns anybody. But yeah, it's a weird. I chose poorly in my life in a lot of respects because I didn't know any better, and I had this plan and I followed the plan, and it was, it's what it is. But I mean, I hope that my daughter makes really good choices, and I hope that if she chooses a man or a woman, it's someone who thinks that she's spectacular and thinks that she's awesome. Like, I'm going through counseling now, and we had a rating system the last time, and he rated me, I'll pull out the paperwork later, but he rated me like the lowest of the barrel and everything. And the counselor was like, wow, he rated you really low on everything and him really high in everything. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I saw that. She's like, why? Like, did you guys talk about that? And I'm like, not really. But I mean, I do have to talk about that with him more. But yeah, I don't know. I just want my mother. I want me to be a really good mother to my child. I wanted children ever since I was young to be a really good mother to my children. Like, that's all I wanted to be. I wanted to be a really, really, really good mom. And I really, really want my kids to be set off in life. And I really, really hope that James, because he's like, oh, but this money is ours. I'm like, it's not our money. It's her money. It belongs to her. We got it for having her. And it should be hers when she's an adult. If we spend money out of that account, we should tell her this is where that money is coming from. Not just like, oh, well, where do you think that special trip or special backpack or special shoes came from? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. That money is for your children. And you spend it on your children. Just like if you get SSI or SSD for your child, it has to go in a separate account for your child. Just like if I were to get child support for my daughter, it'd have to go into a separate account, and I'd have to tell her, this is your money. This is what you said that you wanted. Are you sure you want to spend this money on this item, on this trip, on this whatever? That's what I want to be able to do for her when she's older, because I have so much resentment towards my mother because she got SSI for us when my father died, for each of us. And we were supposed to be trust fund kids, and we weren't. And none of that money was saved for the SSI either. And the house was gone, and then I had another house, which I had to sell. And, it's not all about the money, but, like, if you get money for your kids, it really should go towards your children. Like, if we have to spend that money on something, I really want it to be on something that's for her. Like, I know it's not going to matter in the end because I don't care about the money now, but, like, when I was a kid, that really hurt. And it wasn't even the tax money I'm talking about, because I didn't even consider doing something like this until I had my own child and was like, wow, you get back X amount of dollars, put that money away, give it to your children, but it was about the SSI that she was getting for us, and because that was literally our money that we were supposed to have for our living, and it always disappeared. And then when I was 18, I got a few checks, and she got like, oh, who's going to give me $40 for gas when we were down at the dress shop down in Pidston, and it's like $40 for gas. You had a 4-cylinder car that was $20. Like, at the time I didn't know that, though, because I never drove a 4-cylinder car. I wasn't driving back then. And she was pissed, and she wanted that money, and I could have made her save it. Like, we were in the office, and the counselors were there, and they were like, do you want them to save it, or do you want her to spend it? And of course I wanted her to save it, but having her there, knowing that she would be pissed and everything else like that, I'm like, just spend it, it's yours, whatever. You can do whatever you want with it. I'll figure it out when I'm an adult. Like, and I was even working outside the home, and I'd give her money, and, like, it's not all about the money, but, like, I was working outside the home, and I'd give her my paycheck for bills and stuff, because, I was living in the house, too, and even though she was getting the SSI, even though she got the child tax credit every year, even though she got so much money, and she didn't know how to manage her money, so she wasn't on a budget or anything else like that. So, like, every time she got money, she spent it on a car. She spent it on, staining the deck. She bought herself a trailer. She bought, like, yeah, sure, we were living there too, but I mean, we should have had a lot more input into where we were living and what we were doing, because that was technically our money, And even though I don't get SSI for my child, I don't get child support for my child, I don't get anything for my child besides from the child tax credit. That child tax credit, I am considering that my daughter's money because we never got that before. We're getting that now. We survived without it before. We'll be able to survive without it, going throughout her 18 years. And this way, if we stack that money up in a bank account somewhere and she does want to go on a class field trip, and I know we're not going to have that money because we don't have it now, why would we have it later, We won't have it later. It's just like a credit card. If you don't have $5,000 now, why would you get a $5,000 limit on a credit card, spend that $5,000 and not have that $5,000 later? You're not going to have the money. It's unrealistic. You're not going to have it. So, yeah, so if she wants to go on a class trip, like say there's a class trip to France like we had when we were kids that I didn't get to go on, because I was a part of the French club. I didn't get to go on that trip. Or, like, even when I was in college, I opted out of going to Ireland, even though I could have went to Ireland when I was in college. But if she wants to go on a class trip, to France or to Ireland or, wherever it is that their class is going, I want her to have the option to come home and be like, Mama, look, it's going to be $3,000. Can I go to this? And I don't want to say no to her. I don't want to have to say no because I know we're not going to have it. I don't want to see that disappointment in my daughter's face of, well, why can't I go? Like, yes, I want her to raise her own money, and I'm not buying her a car. She could buy her own car. I mean, there's no issues with that. She could buy her own car. She could pay for her own cell phone. She could pay for, little things like that. Her own insurance, she should be paying for that as well. But the unexpected big things that are going to come up in her life that, if she doesn't have a part-time job because she's doing sports, I should be able to cover that. I should be able to be like, oh, really? You want to go here? Absolutely, you can go there. And wanna what? You want me to go with you? Want me to be a chaperone? Can I sign up for this? If she says yes, and, even if she says no, I might go anyway. Because, kids at that age don't want their parents to go with them. Now, when they're 15, 16, 18 years old, they want to do their own thing, from 11 up. So, but, I hope that not only will she get to go and experience that, but maybe I'll get to even go with her and experience that with her, take the photos, take the videos, just, have that experience with her, let her have those experiences that I would never get to go to, because I want her to have a quality of life, that I didn't have. Like, that's why I want to stay home with her. I want to stay home with her. I want to teach her everything. That's why I taught my baby how to read. My baby is 10 months old. My baby is reading. I struggled throughout my childhood with that. No one sat down with books with me. No one taught me how to read when I was a baby. No one taught me how to, do fractions when I was a little baby like she is. No, I struggled. I struggled throughout my entire schooling. I struggled because I didn't have the book smarts. My dad didn't have the book smarts either, and my mother didn't have them either, so maybe it is just genetic, and, we just don't have them. But, I don't know. I feel like if you work with your kids, especially at a young age, anyone can do it. I'm trying to latch onto the bed. Alright. My guardrails are up. I do need a drink. But yeah, that's another reason why I really want to save this tax money for her, because I do want her to have those experiences, and I do want to be able to provide things that are unexpected for her. So, I know other mothers who spent their kids' child credit as well, and spent their kids' what is that? I just spent all their kids' money, and they were like, oh, and even though actually it was Renee. Renee was like, "Do you think I did the right thing?" And of course, the answer is no. No, you didn't do the right thing. No, you didn't save that money. No, it doesn't matter where that special backpack came from. You should have told them. As she told me, oh, well, I squirreled away $20 here and $20 there. Well, you know what? If you squirreled away $20 here and $20 there while you were getting money for your children, who were your stepchildren, that money is theirs. You know, that's not your money that you're scrolling away. That's their money that they should have gotten when they were 18, 25. You know, whenever you decided was a good age to give it to them. Unbelievable. Like, it's mind-blowing to me how parents get money for their children and spend it. Like, I understand the necessity of sometimes having to spend a little extra here or there, but there's no way all that money is gone. You know, unless you just don't have a budget, unless you just don't care. Like, or unless you're just like, oh, well, that's my money in order to provide a good, oh, look how curly my hair is today, a good standard of living for my children. Okay, well, then provide a good standard of living for your children by being there. You know? I really need a drink. I think that she woke up. I don't know if she woke up or not. Let's go check. Hi, Angel! I left you sleeping. Who is that girl? Want to go on the potty? Anyway, that's my update. Oh, James is just getting in. Hi. Dad. Hi, baby. So that's my update, and that's what I'm doing. I need to go get a drink. I need to put my girl on the potty. So, that's it.